Hi everyone, this is Emi, and today I'm going to show you how to make a colorful Bohemian headband with fringe on the side, or you could wear the fringe in the back or wherever you would like to. So let's get started. To make this headband, we're going to start out by making a grid that's going to fit crosswise across the head. I'm going to work with a 6.5mm crochet hook and some worsted weight yarn. You could substitute 2 strands of sport weight yarn instead of the worsted weight. And this video assumes you already know how to crochet. Sorry, after working with that black yarn so many times and not filming correctly for me to be able to show you, I'm going to show you how to do the grid with this blue color so that you can see the stitches better. 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. We're going to skip the first 3 stitches. We're going to double crochet in the 4th stitch from the hook. And we're going to chain 1. We're going to skip the next stitch on the foundation chain. And we're going to make a double crochet in the next stitch. So we're forming that grid. Chain 1. We're going to skip this stitch and we're going to double crochet in the next stitch. And we're going to chain 1. Skip the next stitch, double crochet in the next stitch. You can see how our grid is beginning to form. Double crochet in the next stitch, chain 1. Skip the next stitch, double crochet in the last stitch. Alright, so you can see how that grid is forming. So now we're going to chain 3 and turn to work back across the row. We're going to make a double crochet. The chain 3 takes the place of the first double crochet and the chain 1 space. We're going to double crochet into the top of this. We're going to skip that chain 1 space, double crochet into the top of the next double crochet. You see how we're lining up. There's chain 1 spaces and the double crochets are lining up. So chain 1, we'll skip this chain 1 space, we're going to double crochet into the top of this double crochet. You see how that grid is forming. Chain 1, skip the chain 1 space, double crochet into the top of this double crochet. We're going to continue across the row. I've already chained 1, so double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, and this was our beginning, and so what we're going to do here is just going to skip the first stitch and we're going to make our double crochet in the next stitch because that was our chaining, our turning chain. So this is how the grid starts looking, and every continuous row after works exactly the same. Chain 3, double crochet into the first double crochet. So I'm going to go off camera and finish our grid of our rectangle that's going to fit around the head. But hopefully you'll be able to see these stitches better. Okay, so I've gone ahead and I've made the strip for the headband. So here you can see that I have wrapped it around this mannequin head, and it is just the correct size. What we're going to do now, we have this all done, put my hook back in here. We're going to bring both of these sides together like this, and we're going to slip stitch to join these 2 ends of the headband. Place our hook through both sides of the work. We're just going to slip stitch like this, and just wherever in between the double crochets or in the double crochets, it's not really going to matter a lot. As long as you just line it up the stitches, that should be good. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead, go across the row, and I'm doing a slip stitch in every double crochet and then 1 in the space between the double crochets. So just keep on going till we get to the end. And the last stitch in the end, And then we fasten off. Now when I end with both yarns in the same place, I usually just take them and make a square knot. And then you can put this into a darning needle and then just weave it back and forth several times across that seam. Okay, so that's good. That's the foundation of our headband. Now I'm going to show you how we do the extra decorations on it. So now we're going to start passing our trim through the mesh that we've created. And what I've got here, you can use anything. I've just got 3 different strands of fun yarns, and I have them as long as I need to be able to go all the way around the head, and probably 3 or 4 inches on each side so that I'll be able to tie them in a knot when I get to the other side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these 3 strands, and you probably could just pass them through the mesh with your fingers, but just for demonstration purposes I'm going to use this safety pin, and I'm going to start along one edge, and I'm going to begin right where I had my seam, and I'm just going to start passing this yarn through, and you can do it in the first row or the second row, it doesn't really matter. So I'm just going to pull it through enough so that I have enough here to tie when I get back to the other end. So I'm just going to continue to weave this pin all the way around through that woven weave section. I'm just going to keep doing this around. And now that I've gotten to the end, I'm going to stretch the headband so that it's not too tight. Then I can take the 2 ends of the fun yarns, and I'm going to tie a square knot, just like that. Now I have one on each end, and we're going to do the same thing through this mesh, and I'll show you how that looks when I get done. Okay, so I've gone ahead and I've passed these yarns through. I didn't pass through that one last row. It's entirely up to you. You could do every second row, you could do every row. I'm just going to leave this bottom part so that it just looks a little bit lacy on the bottom. Now here's where we've tied all of our yarns. I'll show you that. Like that. Now you can leave these as long as you'd like, but I'm just going to trim them down some. So I'm just going to cut them at about 6 inches. So you could cut them very short, you know, you could cut them this short, but I like to have them hanging down a little bit, like this. And that's your finished headband. So here's the headband, and you can see that it's very pretty with the fringe hanging down the side, and it was very easy to make. So thanks for dropping by.